It is the second round of the Open Championship. Across the pond. They're in Ireland. Royal Portrush. Brockman, you want to give me the update because my internet is slow and you actually got the screen.
Yeah, sorry. Matthew Fitzpatrick, still your leader at 9 under.
Yep.
Brian Harmon, Hao Tung Lee, 1 back. Scotty Scheffler, 2 back.
All right. Let's get an update, like a weather update. He's doing stuff at Scratch. I mean, he's a legendary golf writer. Alan Shipnuck actually joining us now from overseas. Alan, it is great to see you.
Yes, Alan.
Sir, how's the weather?
I'm here. Andrew, I have to say I'm disappointed that you said that you're getting back into golf because of the networking and the business opportunities. It's about like having fun with your boys. That's the number one.
That's part of it too. Alan, that's part of it too.
Give it
But
to
I'll be
him,
honest,
Alan.
That's a huge oversight.
one of the reasons, one of the reasons people give up golf is because they're not good. Okay. And I was not good. I was good enough to show up and do like all the celebrity, not that I was one, but like scrambles, right? Hey, it's a fun corporate event, media, sports, whatever. Do the scramble. I was good enough to get at least one of my shots used. That's all that mattered. I had a couple of pops, but yeah, that was it. I had never in my free time though ever played a round where when I made the turn, I went, yeah, I'm down for 9 more. I was always like, nah, I'm good. You guys finish. Not that I quit. I was just like, like if you're not any good and you don't want to take the time to work at it, it's just not fun. So I just put the clubs away for 15 years. And I decided, like, what am I doing? It's the off season. Learn to play golf, you know?
Well, that's a sad story, but okay, let's talk about the Open.
I'm sorry. All right. Let's talk Matt Fitzpatrick. Like, I mean, it's not like he's been ripping it up of late. What's going on here?
Yeah, he won the U.S. Open a few years ago, and everyone thought he was going to be the man because he already had a reputation as playing really difficult golf courses very well because his incredible short game, just a gritty, grindy player. And then he started doing speed training, and he was actually pounding the ball off the tee. That was one of the keys to him winning the U.S. Open at Brookline, which is a big ballpark. And basically, in the 3 years since, he's done nothing. And this guy is incredibly fastidious. Like he's been charting every one of his shots in competitions since he was a teenager. He's obsessive. And it turned out he'd put some weights in his driver head to mostly for speed training, forgot to take them out. And he spent the whole year after the U.S. Open saying, why can't I hit a fairway? Like, what's wrong with my golf game? Like, of all the people on tour to make a bonehead mistake like that, he'd be the last guy you'd expect. So that actually makes me like him a little bit more, but it definitely derailed his career. He lost his confidence. He's had some nagging injuries. He got engaged to a TikTok influencer, which could be a distraction. So it looks like he's back, and he's clearly still has that magical short game. Some of the shots he's pulled off already in 2 rounds around Portrush, and if he's driving it well, he's very dangerous.
How about Brian Harmon? Alan is 69 yesterday, a 65 today in these conditions. He loves him an Open Championship with some bad weather.
Yeah, Harmon felt like one of those guys who was going to win a major, and that was going to be clearly the apex of their career, and he would just quietly kind of coast. But if he can get it done here, he goes into a whole different category. I mean, the list of players in this is the 153rd Open Championship. It's a very short list of guys who have won more than one. And so this would put him on a different plane as a player. And he's a bulldog, literally, went to Georgia, but he's has that mentality on the golf course. And he keeps it in play. When you get the thing that's interesting about, there's a lot of links courses, the routing, they kind of go out and then back. And so the wind's very predictable. It's coming off the right on the front 9, it's coming off the left on the back 9. But Portrush has this very circuitous routing, and the wind's always hitting you in different directions on every hole, it feels like. And you can see it get in the heads of the players, and hitting fairways is really at a premium on this golf course. More than most links where you can spray it a little bit. You think of like St. Andrews or Royal St. George, some of these other venues, you can get away with it. But with the pot bunkers out here and the dunes, and it's a steep penalty to miss on this golf course. And also, you can't really. A lot of the greens are elevated. A lot of them are crowned. It's not the kind of links where you can sort of recover by bunting one down the fairway and have it trundling all the way down to the green. It's much more exacting coming into these putting, these green complexes. And so it's massively important to be in the fairway. And when Brian Harmon is hitting fairways, his iron game is so good, and he's so efficient with the putter that he's going to be tough. I mean, you put him out in front and he's playing with confidence like this, it's not going to be easy to chase him down.
Talking to Alan Shipnuck here at the Open Championship in Northern Ireland. You said it's a short list. It's a ridiculously short and impressive list. Men who have won the Open Championship twice. Here's the list. Arnold Palmer in 61 and 62. Lee Trevino, 71 and 72. Greg Norman, 86 and 93. Patty Harrington did it back-to-back in 07 and 08. And Ernie Els did it 10 years apart, 02 and in 12. Alan, the other three guys that did it were all back in the 1800s. So Brian Harmon can put himself in some fairly elite company if he could somehow pull this off.
Yeah, and it's also big, it's a Ryder Cup year, and the teams are now starting to take shape. We're still a couple months out, but this, the majors have extra points in how the teams are created as far as the allotment. There's still a FedEx Cup playoffs to go. There's some big tournaments in Europe, but at the end of this week, we'll know a lot about how the Ryder Cup teams are shaping up. On paper right now, I think Europe looks stronger. So a Brian Harmon victory here becomes a big deal. It just sort of sends a message like, we went over to your turf, we won your biggest championship. We've got this guy in fine form who could be one of the emotional leaders it was going to be a really tough environment at Bethpage. So it would certainly resonate. Same thing though goes for Matt Fitzpatrick. He was probably borderline to make the Ryder Cup team. A big performance here cements his spot and gives Europe more firepower. So that's an underlying issue. You want to win the Open Championship, but certainly as we're only really 2 months away from the Ryder Cup now. This is a big audition for a lot of these players, and that's an important subplot.
Talking to Alan Shipnuck here at the Open Championship, some other names. Harris English was great yesterday, shot a 70 today, so he's now back to 5 under. Rory shot a 70 and then a 69 today. He is at 3 under at last check. Alan, that is 6 off the lead. Any chance at some magic over the weekend for him?
Yes, because he's been scoring well while he's driving it off the planet. Like, we know that Rory's superpower is his driver. It's up there with Ben Crenshaw's putter, and Jack Nicklaus's 1-iron is one of the all-time weapons in this sport. And Gary Player's sand wedge. You can make a short list, but Rory's probably the greatest driver of the golf ball in history, and that is the strength of his game, and that sets everything up for him. And yesterday he hit 2 fairways. He was 150th in a 156-man field in driving accuracy, and he still managed to shoot an under par round. He was a little better today, but he still hit one offline there on number 2. Had to take a penalty drop. Like, if he can just drive it like Rory McIlroy and then keep getting the ball in the hole. There's been a lot of rounds already, 65, 66. Like, he's fully capable of doing that. He shot 61 on this golf course when he was 16. Even in 2019, after his horrendous first round, he shot a 65 to almost make the cut. Like, Rory knows he can go deep here. But tomorrow is massively important. You just can't give. I mean, you mentioned Harmon, of course, and Fitzpatrick, but there's also Scotty Scheffler. You cannot spot that guy too many strokes. I mean, he's at 7 under when we started this interview. So Rory just can't give him 5, 6, 8 strokes. Like, it's going into Sunday. He's got to make up ground on Scotty as much as anybody else. And so tomorrow's kind of a do or die round for Rory. If he shoots something around par, he's out of the tournament. If he shoots something in the mid 60s, I mean, the atmosphere is electric. We saw that in 19 when he was trying to make the cut. We've seen it the last 2 days. Now you get the weekend crowds that are bigger, a little boozier, a little more working class. He's clearly the hero of Northern Ireland already, and it will be an epic atmosphere if he puts himself in contention on Sunday. So tomorrow becomes, a do or die round for Rory.
Bigger and boozier, I love it. I'm also looking at a video here that somebody sent me yesterday of ridiculous shot Phil made yesterday out of the bunker. Tell me that Phil can be part of. I don't think it's going to happen, but I mean, I can root for it, right? I mean, this room collectively can root for it, right, Alan?
Oh, I mean, golf was way more interesting when Phil Mickelson's on the leaderboard. That's not in dispute. And this was the 103rd cut he's made at a major championship. There's many great players who haven't even played in 103 majors. He's made the
That's
cut in
absurd.
103. It's the second biggest number in history behind Jack Nicklaus. I mean, Phil's longevity remains a marvel. He would be more dangerous at a really crispy, uh, open venue. Like if you think about, when Tiger won in '06, and it was like at Liverpool, it was like playing on the surface of the moon. There was no green out there at all, and the ball was racing around. Like Phil needs those conditions to compete at this point. It's a testament to his will and his short game that he's able to make this cut, but he's given up too much firepower off the tee to these young whippersnappers. And this golf course is probably not firm enough. If you turn it into a short game contest, Phil is still as good as anybody. Through the bag, he's given up a little too much, but just for him to make the cut is tremendous. And you can never count this guy out. I mean, he could fall out of bed tomorrow and shoot a 64, and he's right there, and it would be madness. But I think that's probably a bridge too far for a guy who's in his mid to late 50s.
Look at that shot. Eternal. Phil. Just amazing. Alan Shipnuck working with Scratch now, by the way. It's with the K, at SKRATCH. You can find him, obviously, on the socials at Alan Shipnuck. We appreciate the time and the insight. Stay dry out there, Alan, will you please?
Yeah, it hasn't been too bad. I mean, actually, it's strangely balmy. We need the temperature to drop 20 degrees. Like the Open is about suffering. It's a little too warm. There's not enough rain. There's barely enough breeze to mess up my hair. Like we need this to get a little nastier on the weekend and feel like a real Open.
Oh, are you looking for those action shots of you out there with a notebook with the hair blowing? Is that what you're looking for?
I mean, I feel like we're straying into your fantasy life now.
No. Like you just want it for the gram, Alan. That's what I'm saying. Don't mind me.
Yes, indeed.
Yeah, no, I don't look good in any weather.
It's for the glory of the championship. It's just more fun when the British Open, some people still call it, is just gray and wet and everyone's having a miserable time. Like that's what you want. But we'll see how it goes. There's definitely some rain in the forecast. It's been pretty mild so far.
Before we let you go, actually, one last thing. You mentioned gray. There's a lot of gray behind you. Did you take off? Is there any art in this hotel room? Are you living in a shipping container? What is this?
Yeah. I'm staying in Belfast, which is a wonderful town. It's not on the tourist radar, but it has so much soul. And actually, speaking of art, incredible murals. It's a beautiful place.
But that room has no soul, Alan, is what we're trying to say.
No, I'm not responsible for the decorations of my
Totally
hotel
understand. Totally get it. All right, before last thing, I promise.
Right.
Brockman wants a winner. Not because he has a gambling problem. He just wants a winner.
Well, I always bet Rory, but who's going to win, Alan?
It's just straight chalk. But like I saw Scotty just made another birdie. He's now one off the lead. Like he's the best player in the world, tee to green. He's one of the best chippers, and now he's turned his putter into a weapon. So, and he knows he can do it. He's going to feel no pressure out there. You saw probably his press conference quotes. He's like he went super existential.
Yep.
Like he's just it's not that he's miserable. He has the perfect work-life balance. We talk about this with real jobs. We don't really talk about it with athletes, but Scotty is so centered with his family, his beliefs, and it frees him up. And he just goes out there and plays some of the best golf we've seen since peak Tiger. So, I mean, he's the heavyweight favorite. I saw the betting odds. He was less than 2-1, and that was when he was still a few shots back. Now he's only 1. So those guys know more than I do, it feels like. And you got to take Scotty. But otherwise, also watch out for this kid, Hogard, from Denmark. He's the longest hitter in golf, and the wind doesn't even touch his ball. And he went deep today. He's only a few shots back. So he'd be a dark horse if you need one.
That'd be Rasmus Hogard. Alan, we held you too long. We appreciate you as always, man. Get back out there. Thank you, sir.
Thanks for having me. Okay. See you.
Alan Shipnuck, everybody.
Catch the Rich Eisen Show live weekdays from 12 to 3 p.m. Eastern on Roku Sports Channel in the U.S.